One of the most unmistakable landmarks in the country, clearly visible from the new venue for the Bath Masters. The Fylde Coast, very much the home of bowls. It's fitting that we're here at the Race Hall Hotel in Blackpool, but who's going to win the game's richest first prize? Divided opinions around the green this year, I would say more so than ever before.
Well, I think the most impressive lad for me yesterday was Ian Rigby. I think he knows the green thoroughly. He's won a couple of sweeps and he played very well, I thought, yesterday.
There's never been a left-hander won it. Never been a Welshman won it. So my money is going on Roger Morgan.
I think that's a very difficult one, Alistair, but I'm going to go for an old teammate of mine, Tommy Johnston.
Do you know, I like the look of Ian Rigby. He's done well on here before. He looks comfortable, and I thought he handled his first round particularly well.
Norman Fletcher. He played marvellous last year when he was on here, and he's a local man, and he knows the green, so I think he's going to do well.
My own opinion, I know it's going with a favourite, but I fancy Brian Duncan. I think anyone who can come from behind the way that he did and the manner in which he did is the sign of a true champion. Definitely Brian Duncan.
Well, that narrows it down a bit, doesn't it? Morning, everyone, and welcome to day 2 of the 1994 Bath Masters. What of the main man himself, Brian Duncan? If he's not going to win, who does he think will?
Well, being objective, if I was tipping one, I would certainly tip Norman Fletcher. I mean, I'm not saying because he's a pal of mine and we're doubles partners, but I think he's in probably on paper the easiest half of the draw, and he certainly plays the green well. I mean, I've practiced with him more or less all week, and he likes the green, he likes playing on here, he knows the places to go. So, and last year, I think, when he won the Talbot, I mean, the people around the green light was probably commented that was probably the best exhibition of bowls they've seen. So he's certainly happy on the green and he's certainly got a good chance.
Well, it really is the strongest field we've ever had. It's incredible. Norman Fletcher, incidentally, features in our main game this morning. That one gets underway in about 20 minutes' time. But before we go live, let's get right up to date with yesterday's afternoon proceedings with Alistair Mann and a major triumph for the ladies here.
A day that Irene Reardon will never forget, striking a magnificent blow for the ladies in the most popular win so far against Kerry Morris.
All the way across this crown, running. They like it, they shout for it, they want more running. Applause. She holds 2, and she needs 2 for game this to stay in the game. The big upset. Irene Reardon, the Warrington hairdresser, that looks short. I think she's won it. She has 2, she needs 2. He's howling up 2. Terry Ashcroft holds up 2 to yellow. The big shot. Irene Reardon, they're loving it. Irene Reardon of Warrington, 21. Kerry Morris of Stoke, 12. A tremendous win for the ladies.
Ladies are not supposed to beat men. I mean, there isn't any difference. It's nearest the jack and it's just good.
Certainly it was the most popular victory as far as the crowd were concerned.
Well, the crowd were behind me and I just felt great.
Sadly though, she couldn't inspire her fellow lady players. Pat Davis, despite tasting the unique atmosphere of the Baths before, was virtually wiped out by a ruthless David Copeland, 21-7 the final score. It was a similar tale in the final match of the day, Martin Gilpin dispatching the luckless Joyce Foxcroft. Comeback of the day, well, almost. Kevin Shaw, 14-1 down to 16-15 down, making a real match of it. Welshman Roger Morgan, though, keeping his nerve to hold out for victory. He's into the second round.
Roger Morgan, Hugh John's tip for the title. What a terrific performance by Irene Reardon. Well done to her in this ever-changing image of crown green bowls. Which takes us to another Bath Masters debutant. Yesterday we had the ponytailed Andy Buckley. Today it's 24-year-old Dave Penketh, earrings and all.
He's got the fastest delivery in bowls. Warrington's Dave Penketh posting his own challenge as a newcomer to the Bath Masters.
Do you think you've got a chance of actually winning the tournament?
Yeah. Because for me, bowls is always on the day. You know, I think, I mean, there's 32 good players. They must be because they've won something to get into the Baths. And it's all on the day.
In the Warrington sorting office, there's plenty of support for the local man. Dave's a celebrity in his own right, and the lads are proud of him.
Do you know anything about the Bath Masters? Do you know how big that is?
I've seen it on TV, yeah. So I'll be rooting for him.
Are the lads proud of him? Do they know what he's done in Bath Masters?
Definitely, they're very proud of him. Yeah. It's a bit of a celebrity in here now.
Out on the road, Dave keeps fit riding the bike. He's a postman, but he's a character too, and you certainly can't miss him because of the jewellery.
I look at it as me lucky charm. You know, I mean, I get a lot of ribbon because the lads have said, well, there's 4 ladies in the Bass, but they think that I'm the 5th one with these in, you know. So they've got 1 extra lady this year.
Dave's family will be down to cheer him on, along with his faithful dog Hagar. Watch out for him. But then dogs play a central part in Dave's life. Remember, they're the postman's nightmare.
Yeah, there was one crazy incident when there was a dog that came from nowhere around the back. I just scarpered like mad, only to look behind me and the gates were locked so it couldn't get out anyway. But I just panicked and ran off down the road, dropped the letters and just ran. I feared for my life.
Was it a big one?
Well, he's fearing for his bowling life in the Bass Masters this morning. Is Dave Penketh. He's in fact 13-6 down against the much more experienced John Gurney. There's John, previous player here at the Bass. Well, not here at the Bass, but in the history of the tournament. Hagar the dog is here as well, but not Dave Penketh too much luck. The commentators, Brian Brett and Hugh Johns.
Thank you, Elton. Yes, perfectly true that Postman Penketh hasn't actually stamped his mark on this game yet. It's about time he got on his bike, because John Gurney, Northwich Victoria supporter, key supporter of the, has really taken to the cleaners over 6-12, picked up 10 shots in a row there, from 2-5 down to 12-5, and 14-6 in the lead. Great character, John Gurney. Brian, we've enjoyed his antics in 4-3 previous Bass.
Yes, didn't we just? We remember most of all was against Mark Tinning, wasn't they? Had a lot of fun before 21-18. That was only last year, and then went out to Roy Nicholson, who of course got to the final against last year. Not Hugh, it's a feud, so very serious.
Well, it's a chilly old morning here in Blackpool. We've got the breeze coming off the sea, swirling around this lovely green, the Rakes Hall Hotel, and its breeze itself will be affecting the bowls to a certain extent. It runs through and into the ditch. So, Dave Penketh. Clearly going to score on this end. Is he? No. That's too much. So 1 more to John Gurney. That was a great chance for Penketh to get hold of that block and start putting some chalks on the board.
Yes, his problem now, Hugh, is apart from that early run when he piled up 5 to lead 5-2, he's just not had the block, and this is a green where you've got to have the block, because they say that it's true running and you just follow the block, but you've got to set the mark for yourself, and Gurney has gone for the corners and has lengthened the game. We don't know an awful lot about David Penketh because, to be fair, at this level he is an unknown. I saw him in the Isle of Man Bowl quite well, and he got us the prize winner there, Hugh, but he's only really had that 1 major to qualify for the Bass.
Yes, the Klondike at Levenshume. Had a good win there against Jason Corns, 21-10. But as you were saying, although he's been bowling, some 14 years after his mother introduced him to the game, he hasn't featured too much in the record books.
That's right, and he's just won reserve place on the county scene. He was a surprise winner at the Klondike. It was a very hard last 8, and he was outside it, but I mean, the lad can clearly play, and he's a very confident, cocky character around the green, but it's not gone for him, in fairness, this morning.
Well, the breeze, which is whipping around the side of the hotel in that corner, I think held that one on the green for John Gurney. Now, that's in the ditch. Well, that's a 2. I have to say that's a pretty dreadful 2, because those bowls are a 1.25 miles away from from the target. But poor Dave Penketh, one about 8 yards short and one in the ditch. So 2 more for John Gurney. And he leads 17-6. And this is becoming a bit of a rout for poor Dave Penketh.
Well, he's counted once while Gurney has piled up 14. I don't know what he can do here, frankly, because Gurney is playing good long marks that clearly do not suit Penketh's game, and yet there is daylight virtually every end. He's not leading well, but he's still winning.
Yes, that actually is a dreadful lead. The wind, again, as I'm not harping on it exactly, but the wind will be taking the bowl that little bit further in this direction.
Yes. You know, when they had the old Talbot, this is now the home of the Talbot, the Rakes Hotel. In the old days, the Talbot itself was so blustery, they couldn't use footers. They used to use 2-shilling pieces as marks. The footers just blew away.
That's gone way through again, too. Yeah, this is
well,
one of those ends that I've often considered to be a sheepdog end. I need a good sheepdog to round him up afterwards.
He may have Hagar around, but I think he's going to count, isn't he?
He's gone right through again.
Nope.
Oh. Another single to John Gurney. And it was there for the taking for David Penketh. Really was. I don't think John Gurney will bother to change his mark. He'll set that block off in the same direction again.
Yes, he's wearing glasses these days, Hugh. I've never noticed that before. I must say, he didn't use them last year. Well, he's going such a distance, he probably need glasses.
Yeah, this is what, some 50 yards, I suppose.
Yeah, these are huge marks. John is very much an all-round player. I always get the feeling he likes a bit of round pegging, but this morning he's got a game plan and it's working perfectly. That's better.
Ah, now that's more like a lead, isn't it? Penketh gave that a lot of land. It's never coming back from there.
Difficult, and the left-hander following the right-hander too.
Yes.
Can't read it. He's got to find his own way in.
Well, that's 2. Penketh with the rain now swirling around this green. It's not going to arrive. So that's an easy 2 more for John Gurney. Well, it's a shame for David Penketh. All his mates in the Warrington sorting office who hope for so much from their mate. This looks like being one of the heaviest ever defeats in the Bassmasters. The record, the unenviable record, held by Norman Heslop and Kevin Shaw, who both lost 21-4 in the Bassmasters. That's Norman Heslop in 86 and Kevin Shaw in 90. There has been, what, 4 or 5 21-5s and about 7 or 8 21-6s.
I don't think we've ever had a situation, Hugh, where a player has led 5-2 and suddenly turned round and found himself trailing 26.
No.
He's a mile up the road.
Yeah, this is a disappointing debut for Dave Penketh, because John Gurney has clearly won this match now.
He's disappointed with his second bowl, but his first bowl is absolutely spot on. He's really sorted out David.
Well, David's got to have a bang at this. There's not a dog's chance of getting a drawing bowl in there.
It's a long strike.
Well, it's on its way. Let's see what it's like. Here it comes, and straight through. John Gurney. An absolutely convincing, totally overwhelming victory against poor Dave Penketh. 21-6, and Brian, as you were saying,
Yeah.
from 5-2 up
5-2.
to 21-6 down.
And
That's disaster, isn't it?
It is, but I think he only really bowled well towards the back end. The last few ends, John got it close, but even having led indifferently, Hugh, he won convincingly.
Oh yes, it was dead easy. And once again, the final score, John Gurney 21, Dave Penketh 6.
And it's a very good morning to Roy Armstrong. Well, the more experienced John Gurney didn't give the young lad a chance there, really, did he? Murdered him.
No, he didn't. It's been a massive experience for young Dave, but it's one that he'll store away because he's a player for the future. We've seen him qualify for the Bass for the first time this year in a stupendous performance at the Klondike, and in the county side he's been a reserve, but his attitude, you know, is superb. He just loves to be involved.
He really wants to play for the county. That's his ambition, isn't it?
That's right. When we told him this year that he was a reserve, he jumped up and down. He thought that was superb, and he's got such a good attitude, as I say, and he'll come back and do
Have you got a
well
word of
again.
consolation for him? Will he be in your county team?
He'll be in the county team next year, I'm sure. Yeah.
Definitely. And he doesn't know that yet.
He doesn't know that
Well,
yet.
you can
no.
go and tell him in a couple of moments' time.
Yeah, I'll
okay?
do that, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break in a moment or two because next on the green, the irrepressible Norman Fletcher. Roy will be commentating on that game, and I'll be joined right after the break by one of the two champions who were beaten yesterday, John Bancroft. So join us again in just a couple of moments' time.
I thought I'd give this other brand a try, but I wasn't happy. As a mother and at the nursery, I use Pampers Baby Dry because I found nothing better for keeping the children dry and happy. With the other nappies that I tried, Freya was fine to begin with. We got out all the paints and she was enjoying herself. She started getting miserable. I didn't expect it to be the nappy, but it was. Her skin was almost clammy. It made me wish I'd stayed with Pampers Baby Dry.
Only Pampers Baby Dry has this unique Baby Dry layer. Unlike other thick nappies, it lets wetness right through to keep it away from your baby's skin. Nothing's better for keeping baby dry.
I won't be changing from Pampers now. I've never found a better nappy. With the Pampers Baby Dry, my daughter is always happy.
Pampers Baby Dry, for drier, happier babies.
Darling, it's twins. I've just had the first one. I can't wait to have the next one.
New Nescafe Cappuccino Twin Sachets. Add little chef desire, for our strawberries and cream will overtake everything. Little chef, turn left. We get it right.
If you've just had an insurance renewal that you think is too high, phone 0800 74 75 76. Because
From Vision Express, you can have prescription sunglasses worth at least £89 absolutely free. Just buy a new pair of glasses or contact lenses and we'll give you a pair of prescription sunglasses, even bifocals or varifocals, free.
I came to Vision Express for the 2-for-1 offer and had 2 pairs of glasses. Me was in the oven.
Got 2 pair of prescription glasses, one of which were a pair of sunglasses in a little over an hour.
Free prescription sunglasses, even bifocals and varifocals, in the 2-for-1 offer at Vision Express.
Welcome back and welcome to John Bancroft. Beaten yesterday, got over the disappointment?
Slowly recovering. It's a bit of a sickener really, because you build yourself up for this competition really all year. It's the one that all the players talk about. But
you build yourself up for the week really, don't you? certainly when you've won it a couple of times like you have.
Well, having won it, you know the feeling, and it's such a nice feeling. It's very important to all the players to do well here this week, to become part of the week. The disappointing thing is losing so early on. You feel as though you've lost without really getting involved.
Yes, and of course when you win it, it means you automatically qualify for the following year, so it takes a bit of the pressure off the rest of the season and the start of next season.
Well, that's it, and you can plan your schedule and your handicaps accordingly, knowing that you don't have to go chasing all over the countryside, having to play in all the qualifiers. You can pick and choose the ones that you fancy and go where you want, really.
We heard a lot of people at the start of the programme tipping their various favourites, their tips for the title. Who's yours now?
Well, Norman, obviously, having won and qualified on this green, has got to have a chance.
Norman Fletcher.
Yeah, yep. Norman Fletcher. I've got an outside fancy myself for Bob Crawshaw. He's playing very well at the moment. He's never short of confidence, Bob, and I'm sure he fancies it. I think he fancies this green. I'm not mistaken, he lost, I think, in the final to Norman last year, or the semi-final, I can't quite remember there, but he plays the green well, and he knows plenty about the green. I fancy for Bob.
OK, well, let's take a closer look at Norman Fletcher, who is many people's fancy, because he won here to qualify for the Bass by winning the Talbot. Roy was saying yesterday, John, that probably the best bowls he's played for 15 years. He was absolutely magnificent, according to those who saw it.
Well, Roy's a little bit older than me, so he'll probably remember that far back, but he's a player, Norman, that he has to fancy it, and he'll fancy it on here. I know he's been giving the green a little bit of stick, coming down practicing, which is something that Norman doesn't do very often.
When you say give it a bit of stick, in bowling terms, that means he's been putting in a lot of practice, not criticising.
No, he's been putting in some hours, which is what you should be doing, of course. I mean, in a big competition like this. But Norman's very easy-going fellow. He's a great chap, Norman, and he's very laid back. But he's up for it this week.
You had a chat with him earlier. He does have one concern. What is it?
Well, he asked me earlier on, what do I know about Alan Jones, and like the rest of us, we don't know very much at this level. Alan's a little bit of an unknown quantity, and Norman didn't know where to play. Do I play him in the corners? Do I play him short, across the middle? So it'll be interesting to see how Alan copes, and I would imagine Norm will go right for the corners early on and take it from there.
As we can see, Alan wearing blue today and wearing shades as well. It's his Bassmasters debut at the age of 42. An unknown quantity, and maybe someone who might be a little bit overawed at this level. He's never performed at this level before.
Yeah, it's always a tester the first time you come playing the Bassmasters. The first few ends are vital. He needs to score early on in the game just to relax him play.
He hasn't yet, by the way. Fletcher 3-0 up and leading well.
Yeah, well, that's a bad sign for him, really. He needs to get in early and try and settle those nerves, because without doubt he will be nervous, especially playing someone of Norman's calibre and with Norman's record, really, as well. That won't be helping him.
Right, well, let's see how this develops. Certainly it's first blood to Fletcher, but Jones has got the shot bowl there, as they say in the flat green game. There's Norman, that typical delivery style, and of course, if in trouble, Norman's motto, knock 'em out. Commentators Roy Thompson and Hugh Johns.
Thank you, Alton. And Norman has not done the business on this end. It's the fourth end of this first round match, and for the first time, Alan Jones has the bowl nearest to the block, which should cheer him up quite a bit. His second is way back, but he has scored. So he's broken his duck. Now the interesting thing here for me, and I'm sure for Roy Thompson alongside me, is where does Alan Jones plan to play the game?
That's quite right, Hugh, and Alan actually won the jack at the start of the game, and he's obviously not watched Norman play last year like some of us. He went straight into the corner and put Norman right on his mark. Now he's going into the other corner. If Norman wins the end here, he's back in a corner. Bit of a tactical problem, I think, for Alan. He's playing round peg, bias towards the ditch, thumb peg, and I think he's going to go way past here.
The rain that we had towards the end of the first match here this morning has eased off, blown away, and Stormin Norman is right on target with his first delivery to this block. That's looking better. Oh, unlucky. Just got the wrong side of Norman Fletcher's bowl. Instead of wicking off onto the block, he just promotes the yellow bowl that much closer. And Norman apparently satisfied to take just the one. And now Norman Fletcher, as you predicted, Roy, is able to utilise the other diagonal of this green.
Yes, he's going to test Alan in the corners. Norman is not one of those players actually who will go forever in the corners, whether he's losing the end or not. If he finds it's not working for him, he does change. He does find other parts on the green. But until that happens, he's going to play 50 yards like he is here, thumb peg, and just pegging a little bit here, coming into the jack now, got a good lead.
Just whiskered the jack as he went past it by, what, no more than 18 inches. That doesn't seem to have very much running in it. And it's working into a headwind in that corner of the green this morning as the wind whips round the side of the hotel. It's a bit of a push out into that corner in any case, Roy, isn't it?
Yes, because one of the big theories in bowls is that if you play the long lengths early on, when you do eventually have to drop down to shorter lengths, you will get your length much better. You sort of stretch your shoulders and you got to have a good swing, and then when you come down to a shorter length, you'll get your length much better. Has Alan Jones got it here?
Well, he's certainly trying with that one. Not close enough, but I think he's saved one. Yes, a single, and it was two. 5-1 then. Norman Fletcher, man who's been around in the Crown game, oh, very nearly 40 years. And with a great record behind him. 83 is biggest season. And he picked up, oh, craggy, getting on for a dozen titles that year, amongst them the Greenhorse County Classic, another big televised competition.
And Hugh, there is a difference in the bowls here this morning. Norman is playing with his favourite Lignum Vita bowls. They're just a little over £2 12 ounces in weight. And I noticed that Alan Jones is playing with the new 212 high-density bowls. High-density bowls are very good when the greens are running. They do hold the road, but in conditions like this where the green's a little bit soft, you have to push them up.
This is something new in bowls, the high-density, Roy. What are the manufacturers aiming to give you?
Well, they're aiming to give you a smaller bowl in dimensions. The ideal thing for some ladies and some people who have arthritis, they can hold the bowl without losing the weight. But it's very much like a heavyweight bowl in flat green bowls. You have to push it up.
Well, he pushed that one up nicely. The high density worked for Alan, and he picks up a single. So it's 2-5 off the mat. And where does he decide to play this time? This a much shorter mark, and certainly making quite sure that if he loses the block on this end, he's not giving Norman Fletcher the opportunity of going straight back into the corner, and that's a very good lead. Perhaps we're now seeing what Alan Jones really does.
Yes, I think this makes sense, Hugh. He's playing straight peg, he's playing thumb peg, biased towards the crown of the green. The idea being that it's very straight. He's not going to get too far away. He's a chance of making a decent lead.
Of course, it's also true to say that in doing that, shortening the distance, it's well within the firing range of the big gun that Norman Fletcher carries around in his hip pocket.
And I think you're going to see it here.
Yes, here it comes. No. Well wide of the bullseye. So that's 2 Penketh, I think.
Jones, 2.
Yes, indeed. So Alan Jones dramatically surges forward, closes the gap to just one shot. 4-5 down he is. This a very similar mark to the last one he set. Reminiscent, Roy, of the Trousdale trolley that we saw Colin Trousdale employ back in the Woodlands when he won the Bass some years ago.
Yes, Alan's playing thumb peg here, about 28 yards. Like John and Elton were saying earlier on, he will be unknown to 95% of the players. I've only come across him twice playing at the Indoor Bowls Centre at Tranmere Rovers, and he's a very quiet lad, very studious, very careful, and quite methodical.
Yes, Alan has played most of his bowls in the Birkenhead League, having started off with his company team in the Liverpool Shipping League. He was 18 years old when he got introduced to a game of bowls by a friend at work. Alan, these days, one of the unfortunate men who are unemployed.
Fletcher, 1.
And Norman has got the block back again. So a double objective in Norman Fletcher's mind here, to win this end and then be able to employ the diagonal back towards the commentary box below us.
Yes, Norman Fletcher, he always likes to play into the scoreboard corner here. This particular part of the green is the heaviest part of the green, and in fact it's an optical illusion because it looks downhill, but actually it's the heaviest part of the green, and Norman loves to play in there, and then he will go from that position right up to the other corner.
I think he's probably counting 2 here, possibly, or was, and he's knocked that one in, has Alan Jones, and that counts.
Jones 1.
Yes.
Jones 1.
So the best laid plans of Norman Fletcher gang away. And Alan has the block back.
The place where Alan Jones is going now, in this particular area here, it's the fastest part of the green. There is actually a saucer there, and it will run like mad down there. Once it gets past the jack, it'll run. It's the fastest part of the green.
I think Fletcher is certainly aware of that, because he's taken quite a lot out of the running of that delivery. He's just a shade through jack high. Alan is on at the moment. Oh, and he's taken far too much running out of that.
20 inches behind.
Oh, here comes a whack. And a miss. So a single to Alan Jones. Well, this is surprising. Suddenly, from 5-1 up, they're level at 6-6. So for an expert view from greenside, Let's pick up Alistair Mann, who's got Tommy Johnson with him.
Well, Tommy, it looked at first if Norman Fletcher was going to pull away, but Alan Jones has found a mark.
Playing very well, Alan, yeah. He's shaping well, yeah. Norman's missed 2 strikes, like, and still fancy Norman to win, though, I think, eventually.
Yeah, there's lots of people think that because of his knowledge of the green and success here, that he might be one of the favourites.
Well, he is, isn't he? Yeah. He's a class player, like, he knows the green. And, he's in good form as well.
1 or 2 people will be quite new to the name of Alan Jones. What do you know about him?
Not very much, like, he's just played another toucher here, like, and, if he plays like that, he's going to win, isn't he?
Is it very much a case of learning as you go along on this kind of green?
Well, he's doing his best, like, isn't he? He's playing well, keeps playing touches that he'll win.
Certainly so. Back to you, Hugh.
Well, there's a fractional chance, I suppose, of Alan Jones getting that £500 prize for finishing an end with 2 touches. His first bowl is close enough to be nudged onto the jack. Let's see. Oh, well, never mind. Got 2 here, and that inspires Norman Fletcher to get the big gun out again. Well, he's cut the count down. 1. So it's the first time that Norman has struck with some effect. I think that's about the 3rd or 4th time that he's had a go. So Alan Jones is in the front, in the boss seat at the moment. 7-6.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that Norman actually hit there, because as Tommy Johnson had said, he'd missed 2 out of 2 and the danger signs were there. But at least he has had a hit, so that he'll feel a bit more confident now. Coming to the fastest part of the green now, as we said before, playing finger peg, coming down the slope now, but I think it's on the narrowed side.
Yes, that should be beaten by Norman Fletcher. That's very well down below. Didn't find the land at all there, didn't find the road in. Needs his first delivery plus about 1.5 feet. And that's gone out below, that's not coming back. Well, surely Norman won't make the same mistake twice. Just got to ease past that blue bowl and just got it there, yes. 1 for Norman Fletcher. So it's 7 across. 1 more each and they're level, as they used to say. Now, is that jack staying on? Is it staying on? No. Oh. The pressure getting to Norman. Would you believe it? There'll be some of his professional colleagues around this green who will have a little smile at that, Roy.
Yes, of course, in the old professional game, I used to have 2 throws of the jack, but only 1 throw here. And Norman actually is usually pretty good at placing the jack, but on that occasion he got it too wide. He was aiming for it to go in the corner, got it too wide and paid the penalty. And Alan Jones, predictably, taking Norman back through the centre of the green, finger peg, and it just bends about 5 feet at the finish here, with a length.
Weight looks about right. I just held up and ran straight at the back end. See the crown beautifully on that low-level camera shot as it comes up over the top and then drifts down. But that has stopped a mile short. Norman with that right shoulder dipped down low, encouraging his ball to go up. That'll do. He's on for 2 at the moment. Right. Alan seems to have worked that one a little bit better. Don't think he's won it, but he's certainly saved. Yes, he has saved one. So, Norman Fletcher back in front at 8-7. And promptly aims for this corner below us.
Yes, he's keeping the jack very safe this time, Hughes. Not risking sending it off. Playing finger peg. Straight peg, bias towards the crown. Norman, it's very important that Norman gets in here. Actually, I think he could do with speed in the game, but the game is being played at a little bit too slow a tempo for Norman.
Just going to say, it's unlike him to be at this sort of somnolent, sedate pace. Well, that's won it at the moment. Norman aiming absolutely straight at the block with this bowl. And that is the one that has got to be beaten by Alan Jones. Otherwise he's one down, and he is aiming to put some power in this. Got it. Got it. Good strike. Not fierce, but well controlled, and did the job. And so we're level again. So that chalk for Alan Jones. 8 each apiece. Nicely delivered. Just cocked it. Leaves the jack bare and one blue bowl counting. Alan Jones, who qualified for his first appearance, is here in the Bass Masters, winning the John Smith Classic at the Farndon Bowls Club. Beat Chris Mordew. Tight game, 21-19. Norman not bowling with the total consistency and confidence and control that one has come to expect from him.
Now, I think one thing that is affecting Norman this morning, it affects a lot of players, but Norman is particularly bothered by wind. He doesn't mind hail, rain or snow, but wind just puts him off his stroke a little bit. At least at this end he has got a length. But I think Alan Jones has played a real good bowl here.
Indeed. And Norman immediately signals Terry Ashcroft to get into a sort of short slip area. Oh, I thought he was going to whack at it. That's gone through.
Jones, 1.
Nice single for Alan Jones. And the lead tilts back. 9-8. Alan Jones leads. 16 ends played. So that shows you how tight it's been. 16 ends played and a total of 17 chalks on the board. And the only man who scored a double is in fact Alan Jones. Not a bad lead again. Not a bad lead again at all.
Yes, he's putting Norman under pressure, Hugh. He's making Norman play up all the time.
Well, the ball for Fletcher's is jack high, but way out to the wing.
20 inch.
20 inches short is the blue bowl, so Norman unleashes the gun again. Straight through, a miss. Wow, here's another single for Alan Jones, and as he nudges into a 10-8 lead. We're going to take a little breather here. There'll be more of this captivating game when you come back to us.
Plimsolls. Lunchbox. Right. Got everything we need for school now?
For kids, Woolworths is right up your street. You love the smell of fabric conditioner, but does it last on your laundry?
Mine does. Now I've changed to New Lenore Plus. My washing stays fresh for up to 5 days.
New Lenore Plus has time-release freshness. Freshness that's released slowly. Day after day after day.
This is fresh. I've just put it out, but I washed it 5 days ago.
With New Lenore Plus, the freshness stays for up to 5 days.
Today we're going to show you how to make a tasty saving. Just cut one token from each of these 6 McVitie's packs. Here's some we bought earlier. Pop them in the post, and a little later you'll get all your money back.
McVitie's. You have to go a long, long way to find a better biscuit.
If you thought the power of Solpadeine only came in soluble form, look again. Solpadeine also comes in easy-to-swallow tablets to hit pain where it hurts.
Let's see that tasty winning goal again. Hang on, he saved it. Bassett's Jelly Babies, they're in a wibbly-wobbly league of their own.
You know Des is good on whites, but did you know how good it is on price? Even compared to some shop's own brands. We asked people how they thought Des compared.
The shop's own brand would be cheaper. Des would be more expensive.
Quite a bit more expensive. So what is the difference in price, Pat? Only 10 pence in some stores?
10 pence. Is that all? Well, I am surprised. I didn't think it would be that close in price. It's not a lot, is it really?
Check it yourself against some shop's own brands. Des whites cost less than you think.
For sunburn this summer, apply some Savvy. Apply some Savlon.
Add little chef desire, for our strawberries and cream will overtake everything. Little chef, turn left. We get it right.
A massive 10% off your summer 95 holiday and just £1 books it. It has to be
Well, since you've been away, Alan Jones has scored 1 and Norman Fletcher has scored 1. So we're now in the 20th end of this game with Alan Jones holding an 11-9 advantage. And his blue bowl at the moment is closest. And we've been going, as you can see, just a fraction over half an hour. And Norman Fletcher has found an absolute beauty. He skated past the short blue bowl, which was the shot bowl, and is holding a very, very good single himself. Alan Jones, that line looks good. No, couldn't get past his own short one. Well, now, Norman Fletcher, who's been playing at a very pedestrian pace and looking a little bit sad around this green, hasn't had the bubble and bounce that we expect from Norman Fletcher, is back on a favourite length. And pushes this one deep into the corner. Now, if he's going to start to show his real form, Roy, this is where it's going to happen, is it?
Well, he's gone 50 yards, finger peg.
Well,
straight
he intended to.
Yes, quite. He's 2 yards short there, you know. His leading's just been off, hasn't it? And he's been uncertain and lethargic, and he needs to get motivated. He needs to get running him out a little bit, I think. Release a little bit of the tension. Because Norman normally is one that doesn't suffer with nerves.
Well, Alan has gone clean through. Norman needs Oh, a good yard and a half of running on top of his first, and he's got it. And it's still wound up a long way from the target. Actually, he's probably holding 2, but Alan Jones surely, although the distance is not what he's been winning on, should be able to get in here and count. That's looking tidy. That's looking very tidy. That'll do. Yes. So a single for Alan Jones takes him on to 12-10, and I think it'll be an interesting opportunity to pick up with Alistair Mann again, who's got Norman Fletcher's great mate, Brian Duncan, with him.
Well, Norman Fletcher out there wins some game. You don't know much about Alan Jones, but he's playing pretty well at the moment.
Well, I know he's been in one or two last days that I've played him out, really, and he hasn't really gone to the final and that, but he's certainly playing all right. I mean, that was a crucial end for Norman, just to count the corners, really, and just get a run in it, but he came with a good last ball, so, you know, he's got a game on now.
You were saying that it's very much in the first round, the occasion where the better players sort of come into it almost cold and they need to get into it before, you know, first round is a place for shocks.
I didn't say the better player, like, I think it's the same for both of them, really, but I think it's just the first round is the one, obviously, you've got to get over, really, and it sometimes becomes very difficult. You just feel that you're not involved in the tournament as you're in the later stages. I think Norman, like, with being pretty much the favourite to win the game, I think the other lad's playing very well, and it's going to be a good game now.
Obviously his knowledge of the green was the reason that you fancied him as well, and what particular aspects of the green does he like to play? Is there a mark he prefers?
Well, he's quite happy on the green, he's known. I mean, I've played with him 3 days this week, we practiced well, and he's played really well. I know he's 1 or 2 marks that he likes. I mean, he wouldn't have told it last year on here. He's certainly happy on the green, and I can't, you know, I thought he would have been in front really by now, but having said that, I've only just come, you see, so I've only seen the last few ends, like.
Well, Brian's surprised to find Norman Fletcher training 12-10 Hugh Johns.
Well, Brian is as surprised as we are up here. Ah! Now, that was a typical Norman Fletcher bowl. Controlled weight, more or less running straight peg through the middle. And Norman Fletcher, as he walks up there, has a look around to see where he's going to deliver this block, because he knows he's counting 1. Norman Fletcher, 1 down, coming down into the corner below us.
Yes, I still feel, Hugh, that if Norman is going to win this game, this is the mark that he's going to win it on. He's going to have to count in this corner and lead well into the opposite corner. He hasn't done it, you know.
No, that's not a very good lead. But this will test Alan Jones, who has shown us already this morning that he prefers the shorter marks, the sort of 28, 30-yard marks. He's got a good bowl here. He's got a beauty. Norman's final bowl at this block. Going to make a contact. Going to hit the blue bowl. Yes. Now, if Alan can do the same thing, it'll change again. That line looks good. It's missing. Right now, Norman Fletcher won that little duel. And we'll just see now. At 12 across, after 23 marks have been set. The last time he went in that direction, he put the block off. This time, playing it safe.
Yes, this is better, Hugh. This is thumb peg, straight peg, just under the crown, and going right down into the heavy corner. And I think Norman's not so bad here. I think he's, at last, I think he's played a lead. Yes, and he's caught Alan in the trap. Heaviest part of the green, and Alan's nearly 3 yards short. So Norman going again, wants to slide underneath Alan Jones's short bowl, come up to the jack with a good length.
Elton Wellesby just whispered to me that he's been having a word with Norman Fletcher down at greenside, and Norman says the wind is swirling across this green and is certainly affecting the bowls, and he hasn't yet quite got to grips with it. He's all right this time, though. Actually, there's a little bit of blue sky up there, enough for a pair of sailor's trousers. And
Fletcher, 2.
Now there we are. It's looking as though from breezy Blackpool it's now becoming beautiful Blackpool again. And I think the wind has dropped very slightly. But it could well be that Norman Fletcher is about to blow up a storm here. Got his nose in front. 14-12.
And I think he's got the jack in a good position, Hugh. Jack's just in the apex of the corner, and you can be either one way or the other here, under or over. But he's nearly 3 yards short, isn't he?
Yes, that's a poor lead. He was not happy with that at all. He slapped his thigh after he delivered the bowl. Alan's got one. That's a tidy lead. That's got more running in it from Norman. That's just about 8-10 inches short of being a really good bowl. Alan with 1. And a double here would tie up the scores again. Stayed out. So, has to settle for 1. 13 to Alan Jones, 14 to Norman Fletcher. And this game continues to astound, I think, the crowd around the green. Chattering amongst themselves. Quite remarkable. They'd come expecting to see Norman go storming through into the second round, and instead the relatively unknown that bowler Alan Jones, 42 years old, from Upton in the Wirral, is holding the man, well, who was certainly the favourite in this part of the draw, the lower half of the draw. He's not put the pressure on Norman Fletcher with his first delivery. That's closest. And suddenly the green at the Rakes Hall Hotel bathed in sunshine. And it's looking bright for Alan Jones. Here's the weight bowl. He's after the bowl, not the jack. Missed it. So we're level again. 14 across. And I think seeing Norman miss so regularly with his strikes, it reveals a great deal about his feelings about this game this morning, Roy.
Yes, it shows his uncertainty. At that last end, he had the opportunity to strike thumb peg, which is his favourite peg to strike. Really, if he'd have been more confident, 2 yard through on that bowl, he could have counted 2. But he missed with a foot, you know. He's definitely uncertain, and he has a big decision to make, I think, when he gets the jack, because Alan Jones is holding his own in the corners, and Norman's got a decision to make whether he comes out of it and goes somewhere where he can make a lead. But Alan's putting a lot of pressure on him now.
It's one that's got to be beat. It's a finger peg ball pulled up short. Just gone out too far to count for two. It's only counting one.
15 inches.
It's a pressure bowl and it's weight. Ah, he got the jack that time and killed it straight off, so we have to start again. And another young man who's already experienced this green, Paul Strutt. He put out Andy Tate in the first round. He's now talking with Alistair Mann.
Well, Paul, your first experiences of the Bassmaster, how have you found it so far?
It was very enjoyable the first day, mainly because I won, but I felt that I played a good game tactically, but also Andrew was a little bit unlucky at the last end. But generally, I'm pleased with the way I've played the first day.
Now, you're viewing this game with interest. Norman Fletcher, one of the favourites. It has been nip and tuck.
Yeah, well, the pattern of the game, I think, is that Alan, knowing that Norman's an out-and-out corner player, has tried to cut the green in two and play down the middle, so that even if Norman does get in, he's going to have to play a short mark to get in his favoured corner positions.
Are you a learner by watching? Have you picked up things by watching this game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still relatively young in crown green terms, but you know, watching such good players like this, you always pick up the odd little bit of tips here and there. Yes.
Okay, well, that's the view of Paul Strutt by the green. Hugh Johns.
Thank you, Alistair. And talking of learning the green, nobody knows it more than Norman Fletcher, but he's still learning this morning to combat that tricky swirling wind that's swirling around the green here at the Rakes. Alan Jones has stayed out with his second bowl, so it's still there to be won if Norman Fletcher can find the big one. Gone thumb peg on that one, stayed out. So that's another single to Alan Jones, and 15-14 he is.
Yes, Alan Jones is keeping it straight and keeping it simple, in the knowledge that he can lead well, and Norman is giving him confidence because he's not hitting with many strikes. So Alan's thinking, I can lead up to the jack, he's not always sure to hit.
Yes, this is really quite remarkable, because one would have forecast that with the sort of 28-30 yard marks that Alan is setting constantly, it's well within the striking capabilities of Norman Fletcher. But something's gone wrong with the Big Bertha gun, and it's not delivering. And Alan has let him off the hook here this time. It's gone right through.
Yes, Norman will know that we're coming to one of the faster finishing parts of the green here. This is about 32 yards, thumb peg, right over the centre of the green. At least Norman's kept his ball on. Just about a yard short, not easy to beat now.
Well, Alan Jones has certainly kept his nerve time and time again in this game. Can he do it this time? That looks to have, again, too much running in it. And that's a ditch ball, is it? Oh dear. So Norman Fletcher doesn't even have to deliver his second to count two. And that's the first major mistake, I think, that we can put down to Alan Jones in this very, very tight and tense game. And once again, Norman heads off towards a corner. And this a difficult corner to play.
Yes, Norman always goes round peg into a corner. When he's going from any position into one corner, he always goes round peg. He's playing finger peg here. This is about 40 yards, and it's the heaviest part of the green, and Norman's just a little short.
So, Alan Jones with these high-density bowls has not got anywhere near the target. Norman gets a couple here, and Alan could be in trouble. And that's exactly what he's got at the moment. And at that distance, that is a very, very difficult bowl to beat. Underneath, that's going to swing away and out. Well, that's a double for Norman Fletcher. Doubles back to back, and 18-15. Norman Fletcher goes in front. And this has been a long and tiring journey for these two bowlers. Coming up to 50 minutes of bowling. 29 ends of bowls counting, plus the one when the jack was struck off into the ditch. And Norman on a little counter, trying to encourage his bowl, but oh dear, he hasn't led well to his block. Alan, almost a straight peg. If he can get past the yellow bowl, he's going to promote it.
Yes, that was a missed opportunity. Norman 2.5 yards short. The aiming point here is 2 foot below the jack. That's what they have to aim for. Uphill with a downhill finish.
Well, it's got the legs. Now that'll take some beating. That's going to hit the yellow bowl again. No, just got past, and I think it's won it. Well, my money's on the blue bowl.
Yes, Norman was waiting for it to fall over, but with it being high density, it stuck to its ground and didn't move. 1 to blue.
Yes. What a very, very excellent second bowl from Alan Jones. So Norman does not race away towards the finish line. So, round peg, finger peg mark. That's following the jack very nicely. You were saying, I think, yesterday, and pointing out to us how on this green you've got to believe the block and go with it, Roy. That was a case in point, wasn't it?
That's right, yes. He sometimes, the Norman, you see there, has given the bowl a little bit more to do, and it's hung out, and it's a very poor effort from Norman. But he thinks he's signalling to somebody at the side of the green that the wind's got hold of it.
Yes, he's been complaining about the wind. It is difficult here. It's a very open side of the green. The road just to our right is wide open.
He's overdone it.
Well, he's equally far out on the bottom side as he was on the top side. That's a very easy 2 for Alan Jones. And they're level at 18 across. And this game continues in the most remarkable fashion. This is certainly not what the crowd here at the Rakes was expecting this morning. Alan Jones, an unknown to, I would say, at least 90% of the people here at the green, and probably the same percentage of people watching at home. Well, they know him now, Roy.
They certainly do, and he's playing thumb peg into the fastest part of the green, into the saucer. There's a big saucer here. It's about 10 feet wide. Thumb peg. Very important for Alan not to pass the jack. He's got to make Norman pass the jack.
Well, he's got a lovely lead.
Very good bowl. He's in the circle, he's in the centre. That is the saucer there that they're playing in, and anything past it runs right the way down. Anything past the jack will run off there.
Stayed out on the bottom side. Norman Fletcher. This is 6th Bass. Oh, that's 2 beauties. 2 beauties.
Norman
And
striking.
Striking. With weight, it's a wide target. Got to hit something. No! Would you believe it? Storm in Norman has left the big gun back at his hotel. It's just not working for him, Roy.
He had 3 objects to go at here. 2 balls and a jack. Went right through the middle. Never hit anything.
So, doubles back-to-back by Alan Jones. All but 20. All but 18, sorry. 2018.
And this is a part of the green, Hugh, where the jack does swing. The bowls will swing here. Aiming point is about 5 foot to the right of the jack, just uphill to this part of the green. 2 yards heavier going in this direction.
Has he given it enough? Just needed a bit more. Norman Fletcher fighting for his life now. Turned his back on it. No way. Alan Jones keeping his nerve. Shown perfect temperament out here this morning. Well, he needs 1. He's holding 2. Norman Fletcher, is this his last bowl in the 1994 Bass Masters? It is. He's out. The top favourite in the second part of the draw, the lower part of the draw, Norman Fletcher, is out. And the crowd stand and applaud. Alan Jones, the young man from the Wirral, has pulled off the big upset of the tournament so far. Taken out Norman Fletcher, 21-18. Unbelievable. The crowd buzzing still with the excitement of what happened in that match. It really is quite remarkable. And Elton Wellesby down there now with these 2 players. Let's hear what they feel about this game here this morning.
Well, first of all, very well done, Alan. That must rank amongst your finest ever victories.
Very much, yeah. Definitely does. I'm absolutely shattered like we're made of.
Was it mentally exhausting playing the favourite in the bottom half of the draw and the favourite of many people to win the tournament?
Well, it's completely different to what I'm used to, that's why. Unbelievable. Really is.
Well, let's move across to Norman. What was wrong out there today?
Wind was terrible at middle of green. Just blowing bowls, narrowed and to low, and I mean, it was shocking. Yeah. Shocking playing on across middle.
And I suppose with you knowing it so well, if it was affecting the green, it would affect you more than Alan, who doesn't know the green as well as you.
I think it does with them stickers on as well. They seem peg more with stickers on, don't they? I think it alters the bias, it does.
Same for everyone, Norman, you know.
That's one of the things, isn't it?
But the body language didn't seem to be quite right. You didn't seem to be bubbly, were you? You're flat, weren't you?
Not really, no. Well, I never got going at all, did I? Well, that's how it goes, balls, isn't it?
But on the other hand, Alan here, inexperienced, didn't he just?
Yeah, played brilliant, yeah. I hope he wins it.
Good, thanks for that, Norman. Well done. Another quick word with you, Alan. How do you find playing in front of the cameras for the first time? A big stage, a big audience, and the biggest tournament in bowls, really, in terms of prize money.
Well, I just tried to blank it out, that's all. I didn't see the cameras, really, or the crowd.
Do you think the fact that Norman knew the green so well and was finding a problem with the green actually worked in your favour?
I don't know, really.
A problem with the wind, rather, you know?
Yeah. Well, mind you, had a few strikes and he missed, didn't he? It might have turned the game, you see.
Which is unusual for him.
Yeah, well, he missed down the far end there. He got a gap. Had 2. Made me 20.
What about when you threw 2 off?
Oh, no, well, just forget about that.
Did you think you were going to lose at that point? Because that gave him a 3-shot lead.
Well, Yeah, I would have got two. You got a 2 there, another 2.
Yeah.
And I'm about 3 or 4 ahead, yeah. It did cross my mind, I must admit.
OK, well, you made a big error there, but you came through, and you came through well to beat the favourite from the bottom half of the draw. Well done to you, Alan. Alan Jones, then, from the Wirral, beating one of the favourites here, Norman Fletcher, in a very long, close, hard game. Right, we're going to take a break now. We'll be back with more bowls right after that.
These are natural, healthy teeth. These are a partial denture. Cleaning a denture with toothpaste alone can leave behind plaque and bacteria. Oh dear. And that bacteria could affect the gums of your neighbouring teeth. Sorry. A daily 10-minute soak in Sterident kills the bacteria on your denture, so helping you keep your gums healthy. Sterident keeps dentures clean, helps keep gums happy.
Now you can get that airy scent of spring in a washing up liquid, because now there's new Spring Fresh Fairy. So you get that wonderful spring fresh feeling every time you wash up. New Spring Fresh Fairy. Spring bottled.
Or with a little imagination. Lee & Perrin's Worcestershire sauce is the instant marinade for delicious meals.
Can you spot the difference? Whose detergent was better at tackling tough oil stains? Go on, show us, boys. Jamie's needs a second wash. But Tom's powder is the winner. Which is it? It's Ariel. Trust Ariel, not just nearly clean, but really clean.
Sunshine heading my way.
Thousands of free holidays for children for summer '95. That's how far air tours go to make you happy.
Welcome back. John Bancroft with us again. Saw a bit of a shock there, John, didn't we?
That's probably the turn-up of the tournament so far, I'd imagine. Norman, as we were talking before, was really up for it this week, and I'm sure he'll be really disappointed with that. And I would think he'll be disappointed in the way he's played. No disrespect to Alan, who's played a good game, but Norman, he never looked at ease with himself. His body language didn't say that he felt right on the day, and that's what it's all about sometimes, as Brian Duncan's always telling us. It's how you feel on the day.
Well, Alan Jones conquered his nerves and conquered a great player. All credit to... I'm looking forward to seeing him in the next round, John.
Yeah, he's played the greens. He's found it on the day, really. I don't know to what extent he's been coming down practicing. I don't think he's seen an awful lot of the green in the past. But he's just turned up and played it as he found it, and he found a length. I mean, if he plays like that in the next round, his next opponent's going to have a game on to beat him.
Just very quickly, John, running bowls seem to be pulling up a little bit quicker than they were yesterday.
It seems a little bit heavier today. The sun's not out, drying it out really, and it's probably going to stay a little bit damp on the top. It's a little bit gusting the wind, as Norman mentioned. Probably that's affecting the running too. It's one of those days when you've just got to get your head down and forget those sort of things and just stick in there.
Yes, as I said earlier, it might be a bit of an advantage if you don't know the green that well, because it is playing rather difficult today, as John just said and Norman Fletcher said beforehand. It is heavy and the wind is causing problems too. Right, well, let's see a game played a little bit earlier on, a fine game as well between David Walker and Alan Thompson. The commentators, there's Alan, Roy Armson and Brian Brett.
But we're 15 across, so there's a fair amount of work for both these bowlers to do. Thompson predictably cutting the game down in length, because Walker really is a superb corner bowler and has not as yet managed to count more than 3 times successively from early doors. He won the second, third and fourth ends, but Very much even Stevenson's at 15 across. So Walker, it's the final bowl of the 22nd end, desperately trying to get into the corners, and Thompson equally determined to make sure he can't. Now as he just tickled the jack enough to count. Good single. David Walker looking longingly into the far corners. At 16-15 with the block, we know where he's going, don't we, Roy?
Yes, David will go into the corner. He's playing finger peg, playing about 40 yards here. And I always felt that this would be a tight game, because although the bookmakers strongly favoured Alan Thompson, quoting him at 14-1 for the competition as against 40-1 for David Walker, I think what's actually happened is Alan Thompson has just come back from holiday.
That's right.
And I think he's been about 2 weeks without sending any bowls, and I think that has reflected in his play this morning.
Yes, and I think another factor that might just be getting through to him as he sends this first bowl after the lead from Walker closer to the jack, Roy, is that 2 days ago he was in Paphos, Cyprus, enjoying the heat of, what, 40 degrees, and we're here, cold, blustery, Blackpool, and,
yeah,
as you say, he hasn't practiced apart from... he got a little bit in yesterday after play had ended, but conditions yesterday were nowhere like today. They were dampish. This is dry but cold and blustery. Now then, Walker, as it stands, is in a bit of trouble here. His second ball went off the green, leaving Alan Thompson to cash in with a nice double to Thompson in blue. 17-16.
There is no doubt, of course, Brian, that Alan Thompson knows this green much better than Dave Walker. I've watched him play here many times, and of course he won the Talbot Championship here in 1991. So he is quite au fait with the various ups and downs of the green, and he's changed the game a little bit now. He's going to take David into the corners. He's thought that David's played a bad end, so Alan's playing finger peg right through the centre of the green, and he's got the jack, what we call round the corner. He's got the jack pegging towards the ditch there, and his bowl's going down. Got a real good lead going here.
Yes, he's a fine all-round bowler, Alan Thompson. Yorkshireman, company director. And Murfield, hotbed of bowls in West Yorkshire. Not happy with that. Left a good yard and a half to the side of the jack. Well, this is the work it's now got to do. Now sort of swing, but I think he's asking an awful lot of that bowl. He's trying a little bit for him. Run again, they call. Spread out all over the place. Now then, Thompson. Is his line better? It's certainly inside the Walker bowl. All about length. Well, won it as it stands. Won't take a great deal of correction for Walker to get reasonably close. Certainly a tighter line. He's had the advantage of seeing the Thompson bowl. Needs a stop, needs a run now. Well, they are rather spread around. May well need a measure. Have a look at these, says referee Mary Ashcroft. They're all over the place. They're so far adrift that short of finding a winner, yeah, we're going to measure anyway. Walker fancies his bowl. Taking one out of the way, that's a non-counter. Arthur Scowcroft, David Fishwick measuring. David Walker, the noted corner bowler, won the Bass Northwest Open at Urmston. Alan Thompson, the Atlas Coated Steel Classic to qualify. Blue bowl. In that case, it would be 1. 2, in fact. 2. Alan Thompson. A little bit of daylight. 2 successive doubles. 19-16. Alan Thompson's lead as he sets the mark at the 25th end. Alan Thompson is not a newcomer to the Bass by any means. This is his 3rd Bass tournament. He lost in the first round in 90, but he got through to the semi-final in 92 before losing to Brian Duncan. Very, very experienced county bowler.
96, Roy. That's a long run, isn't it? 96, 50 of them as captain of Yorkshire.
Yes, he's been outstanding in county bowling. I've seen him in county matches many times, and he's very highly thought of, and of course he's the away team captain, so he is a big influence in Yorkshire bowling.
Yes. The away team have got to be hard, experienced tournament players, go and read greens they're not used to, and perform. Now then, these are performing, these are lying with 2. He needs 2 for game, Alan Thompson. This David Walker, he's got to save, or else it's curtains for the big man. Size 14 shoes, doesn't pound around too much, but the bowl will now run down off the crown. He's not short, he's never short, but is he too far through? And he's just rubbed the jack, it might save him. Oh, it has. And he's run it. And he's run it for 2. Oh yes, now we have a game. Off the mat, 18, 19, Walker with the jack. And in the corners, the far corners, you can gamble on him going a long, long way across this green, up and over the crown, now dropping down to the far corner. Not quite fully corners, 3/4 of a corner fancied here. Needs a lead. Trails 18, 19. Run on, they call it. Roy, they've been invariably short going this way, haven't you? Spotted that one?
Yes, it is always a push up to this corner. This is one of the slowest parts of the green. Only starts to run when he gets to the last 2 yards. Alan Thompson, good ball here.
Good length. That'll take some beating. He needs 2. That's a good 1. Serious work, Alan Thompson. Got a nice tan from his Cyprus holiday. David Walker. Looking for a few bob for his American holiday soon. Needs the dollars. A fistful here, is there? Oh, he's run through and out. Unlucky. So 1 he holds. He needs 2. Thompson certainly got 1. This, if it goes in, wins him the game. 19, 18, holding 1. This has got to run and work. He's not going to do, you know. What a chance missed. They agree. 1, Alan Thompson. What a chance to win the game. But he gets closer, he edges closer. Another single to blue. 2018. As we start the 27th end. Serious looking Thompson. No wonder he could have wrapped it up there. Now then, he's playing a man who plays the corners well, but he's not worried about that. He's taken him back. They've been down there recently, and Walker just got out. He's not gone as far, Roy.
No, he hasn't gone as far. I think what Alan's doing is he's gone here thinking that he caught David out last time. David was a mile too far with both balls. And as you say, he's shortened the jack, but he's certainly too far with this ball.
Yes, he's put the bowl where he last put the jack last time they went down there. Well, there's nothing for sure, but that is so far out of the count that this is a great chance now for David Walker. Just got to work. Peg. Well, it's closest so far. Thompson. His advantage. 2018. Needs a big correction from his first bowl. Needs yards out. Will run in and go, and as it stands, that could win him the game. Now, David Walker may well elect to strike here. It's a long, long way. He may well go for it and try and take it up. It's an awful long way to strike. He's weighing it up. He's going to strike, you know. He signalled this to keep Walker in the game. He takes the bowl out or he takes the jack off. Has he got it? It is a long, long strike. No hint yet. The body language, no, is missed and he's out. That is it. Thompson gets that one he needed. He's needed for the last couple of ends. It's enough. The man who's come back from holiday in Cyprus finds the sun shining on him in Blackpool. He wins this one. Alan Thompson, 21. David Walker, 18.
Good match. The first round almost completed. This is how the second round looks at the moment. Tommy Johnson against Paul Strutt, son of Ken. Andy Buckley with the ponytail against Brian Duncan, who certainly hasn't got one. Rigby Copeland, Broadhurst against the other Copeland, David. Reardon Morgan. Martin Gilpin against either Simon Coupe or Bob Crawshaw. We'll be able to see the conclusion of that match before we go this morning. Alan Thompson will play Alan Jones. Alan Jones providing the biggest shock of the tournament so far, knocking out the favourite in the bottom half of the draw, Norman Fletcher, and then either Mark Britton or another fancied player, Glyn Cookson, will be playing John Gurney. John, talking about bowls and the way that the green is playing, the way greens generally play, whether they be heavy, whether they be light, do players change their bowls, or do they have one favourite bowl, set of bowls that you'll play with, whatever the conditions?
All players will have one favourite set of bowls. Personally, I don't tend to swap at all really, unless the conditions are really different to what you normally play, i.e. they're underwater and you need a smaller player so that you can send them further, or again, if the green's very hard and fast, some players tend to go to smaller sets of bowls so they're not running on and on and on. Other players, for example Roy Armson, I mean, you could see Roy's bag and he's got a dozen sets of bowls in his bag and in the boot of his car, and he'll go and try 2 or 3 different sets when he's practicing, deciding a set that he likes and decide on those. Different players have different theories really. My own particular one is that I'd rather play with the same set of bowls. Alright, they might not suit a particular green, but at least I know exactly what my bowls are going to do. So
what about the different types of bowls? Are wooden still the most common?
No, I think lignoid bowls are taking over really from...
To the layman, lignoid...
Lignoid bowls basically is plastic. I mean, that's a very simplistic way of saying it, but wooden bowls, lignum vitae bowls, a few of the older players tend to play with them, but the majority of the younger players do tend to play with lignoid bowls because that's what they've been brought up with. Bob Crawshaw, Glyn Cookson are probably the 2 most notable exceptions of people, the young players who play with wooden bowls. Brian and Norman both play with wooden bowls, but they're a bit older, of course.
Okay, well that's given us a nice insight into the way the players feel about the bowls and the conditions and whether they use their one set all the time or swap about. But what about how bowls are actually made? Rob McCaffrey reports.
Chances are that the bowls belonging to the stars of this year's Bass Masters started out like this. This is Claire's in Liverpool, who've been making bowls for more years than anybody cares to remember.
10 years ago we were still turning wooden bowls by hand using chisels, and the workforce were skilled wood turners, and now they are operating CNC lathes, and you know, the change has been fundamental. It's a completely different job.
Do you find a lot of younger bowlers coming to you now and saying, can we buy bowls from you?
Absolutely, yes. The shift in the age group, a few years ago, 5-6 years ago, it was always when you come to retirement, you know, what gift? It's going to be a set of bowls. Nowadays, if you go down to any of the bowling greens, you'll see youngsters playing from the ages of 5 upwards. You know, you can get a complete family out, from sort of grandfather at one end and granddaughter at the other end. It's nice.
The raw bowl itself is first of all cut, then moved next door for trimming and engraving. Then comes the key, the testing table.
Every set of bowls has to be tested. Because it would be no good if we sent a pair of bowls out for a crown green bowler and he found one went to one corner of the green and one went to the other corner. They have to be accurate, they have to run behind each other, and so that they can pick the point on the green to bowl to try and get there to the jack and win the game.
The bowls average out at about £30 a pair, but Peter Clare will tell you the game is extending its roots from the north of England. He's now exporting to the States.
There are 2 bowling greens in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Mainly because one of the people on the Tulsa City Parks and Gardens married a girl from Warrington, and the only game of bowls he knew was crown green when he came back to the UK to see his in-laws. And in the end he decided he liked the game, so he's going to have 8 green built, and he's now built another one. So this crown green bowls is played in the USA as well.
Cosmopolitan game these days. Right, well, as John was saying, Bob Crawshaw plays with wooden bowls, and they were serving him well against Simon Coupe. Crawshaw just 1 chalk from victory as we join it.
Robert Crawshaw, 21-20. Simon Coupe 12, needing 1 for 21. And a grain, he doesn't go very far. Simon, not a note. Oh, he has struck a couple of times, Roy, without success.
Yes, he's played 1 or 2 rather incorrect bowls.
You think so? Yeah.
Yes, I do. I think on several occasions he could have played through bowls with a lot more possibility of counting the end and just trying to play to win. But he's got a good chance of counting here.
Well, he did at the previous end, of course, didn't he? I think Crawshaw there was a good bowling yard through. He's in fact hit that now nicely to the waiting bowl, and that really could win it. Crawshaw could now win this game courtesy of Simon. The promotion, or the nudge, certainly leaves Crawshaw holding the one he needs, and he'll put another one in here. Nice mark down, difficult to beat. Holding 2, needing 1. Robert Crawshaw. Now Simon Coupe, winner of the Henselite Parkfield Classic, is going with weight. Got the block, oh, straight off. This time he's got it.
No, we're not playing flat green, Bob.
Yes, a sign of lack of confidence here. He was more certain of getting the shot with striking than playing to sit on the ball. Full contact on the jack, bounces up in the air, off the green, nullifies the end.
Yes, we remain Crawshaw 20, Coupe 12. He lives, but only just. I suppose a bit of justice there, because he did nudge the jack to Crawshaw's bowl, but that's the first time he's made a decent contact with a strike. It was always on, wasn't it, Roy, when you're going that sort of distance?
Yes, I think most players there would have just played to sit on the nearest bowl, but I think Simon was lacking in confidence, wasn't sure of the running, and he felt more certain of striking. But Robert's given him a real chance here. He's 4 yards short.
Yes. So it is a push up there, but then the jack is off the crown, so it's going to run down nicely. That's all right. That's better. Good length. Nice stylish player, Robert Crawshaw. Strokes the ball out. That looks better. It's just got to run and peg. That's enough. Now that could well win us him. Now he's playing up this time with a little bit of running in the bowl. Wants a connection, wants the right connection, otherwise he's away. He's not got it, you know. He's unlucky. He made the contact. The outcome, the result, is all against him, because it's another one to the yellow of Robert Crawshaw, and Robert Crawshaw goes through fairly comfortably, one must say, against Simon Coupe. The result, Robert Crawshaw 21, Simon Coupe 12.
Well, there's another one, John, that we've left the bookies smiling.
Yes, I think again with Simon being a local, there's 1 or 2 of the locals who have fancied him and had a few pounds on there, but it's easy to say after the event, but I fancy Bob this week. I think he's playing well at the moment, and he's confident. He likes playing the green, he knows plenty about it, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes close.
To remind those of you who haven't been with us before, that he did actually win it in '85. He's going to be playing Martin Gilpin in the next round. Pick another one out of there, John. Who do you really fancy there?
Well, an interesting game for me is the Buckley-Duncan game. I mean, Andy played very well yesterday to beat Mike Leach. He's full of confidence. Again, he really fancies it this week. I was speaking to him yesterday, and he said, I'm going to really get stuck into this Duncan and give him some stick. So, you know, and, well, in the nicest possible way, but I mean, a lot of players when they play Brian are overawed. So I don't think we'll have that problem with Andy. And Brian, as we all know, he doesn't particularly fancy the green. So Brian's going to have to be on his mettle to make sure he doesn't let Andy run away with it there.
Well, I'm glad you picked that one out particularly, John. I didn't prompt you, did I? Because that's the game we'll be featuring live this afternoon, Buckley against Duncan, so that really is one to look forward to. And we'll also be able to see the end of the very last first round match between Mark Britton and Glyn Cookson, which at the moment is very interestingly poised. Just a quick one on Glyn Cookson, John. I mean, you'd expect him to have won a major televised event by now. I mean, we say it every year, but he's an early man in major terms.
In terms of possibly the Bassmasters and the Waterloo and 1 or 2 of the major ones, as you say, but around and about on the bowling scene, I mean, Glyn's regarded as one of the top 10 players, certainly, possibly even higher than that. He's very, very steady, he's consistent, he's no obvious weaknesses in his game. I mean, I've played both these players recently, and they're both good players, and again, you have to be playing really well to beat them. Mark's had a little bit of a bad run since he possibly qualified for the Bass, and Glyn's been doing slightly better, so that might just be the deciding factor in this game. Glyn maybe just pinch it.
Okay, well, thanks very much indeed, John. We'll see you again this afternoon. We'll see Brian Duncan as well, 2:20. Bye-bye.